There we go. Tied at 10, not anymore. This time, ratified is down. Here in double OT. We'll go ahead again inside. Tampa Bay Gators are going to crash hole 19.
Time is happening. In the title of the since 2000.
Welcome, CDL fans, to our April 18th edition of CDL Live. And before we get to that first matchup that is scheduled for today, Milwaukee Mob, kind of on the outer reaches of the playoff race, and going head-to-head with the Washington Patriots, who, if they were in any other division, might not be in a playoff spot right now, but needless to say, going up against the Washington Patriots, leaders of the Southeast Division. But you know what? They are starting to bounce back from the struggles that they have been having. So, but before we get into that matchup between the Mob and the Patriots, some D-League scores to get into here. Oklahoma City defeating Oakland 15-5. Cincinnati tying Vancouver. I almost said they defeated them. But yeah, 15-15 final between the Tigers and the Vancouver Bears. Mexico City is the team that got defeated, and badly. 15-0 at the hands of the Utah Lakers. Calgary and Winnipeg, tie game there, 15-15 the final. Kansas City getting shut out in a huge upset. Edmonton getting that big win there. Alaska getting the win over Little Rock, 15-5. Anaheim beat Memphis, 15-5. Toronto getting the win over Baltimore, 20-15 in overtime. Heck of an Eastern Division battle there. Syracuse getting the win over Richmond, 15-10. Montreal beating Orlando in a shutout, 15-0. Donuts served for dinner. And Rochester, the only team with the bye on the April 18th game day in the Development League, which leads to the pros. Playoff race heating up, some things, some points, I guess, kind of heating up, especially in the Western Conference. And we do have one Western Conference matchup today between Houston and Idaho, who came to this game day 12th and 13th place in the West. So really trying to keep up in the playoff race right now. But when you take a look at their records, how many points that they have coming into this game day, they're only sitting a couple of games out. But needless to say, the Milwaukee Mob really on the outer reaches of the Eastern Conference playoff hunt, while Washington sits at the third seed with 38 points. Now, keep in mind, the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference has 39 points. Washington only with 38. And as a matter of fact, tied with Tampa Bay for first place in the Southeast Division. So with that being said, crucial game for Washington because they need to keep a pace that is difficult for the Gators to keep up with to keep that top spot. And at the end of the day, winning the Southeast Division for those teams could mean the difference between making the playoffs or not making it past May 20th. Let's put it that way. So, that being said, Milwaukee Mob up against the Washington Patriots. Let's get down to the field. Welcome, CDL fans, to our April 18th edition of CDL Live, and yes, we are on the field now after this first matchup, this first feature game that we got for you here today. The Milwaukee Mob, home against the Washington Patriots. We get a look at their records here. The Washington Patriots come to this game day with a record of 12 wins, 10 losses, no ties, and 2 overtime losses. The Milwaukee Mob coming into this game day, 7 wins, 12 losses, 1 tie, and 3 overtime losses. Turn to the Eastern Conference standings. Washington tied for third place with actually the 10th seed, the Tampa Bay Gators. Of course, they are the 3rd seed right now if the playoffs were to begin today, but they are in a tie at 38 points with the Tampa Bay Gators, the defending Eastern Conference champs. The Milwaukee Mob, on the other hand, been some struggles, especially as of late. Currently, with 26 points on the season, they sit 16th place in the Eastern Conference and looking for an upset because for a moment, it actually looked as if their season was looking up. But now it has gone downhill. the Mob trying to rebound here today. That being said, let's go look at the lineups for both sides, Patriots and the Mob. So here we go, both teams starting off with some smash mouth style offense. It is going to be Red Ferrari Jr. leading the way for the Washington Patriots, Monty Jr. leading the way for the Milwaukee Mob, and game is on. Both cars staying up off of the first collision, going at it again, and a good little barrel roll by Monty Jr., but that time he is taken down. So we got a 5-0 game. Patriots in the lead, and that will bring out Toyota now for the Mob. Both cars staying up, no interference, came very close. They will switch sides here. So Toyota and Red Ferrari Jr. going at it yet again. Again, both cars staying up and up to the pass they are today. So this match continues. And now they are both going to be going down there. So we got a 10-5 game. So now it's up to Cartman for the Milwaukee side to keep them alive. Landlord out there for the Washington Patriots looking for the win, and both cars down. And no fancy special move. Yeah, now he does it on the sideline. Too late, Cartman. You're already down. But needless to say, no fancy moves from him today. Gets taken down, and Landlord setting up ratified, or my mistake, Ratitude here for the Washington Patriots. And of course, Ratitude trying to get the win right now. 15-10 Washington in the lead. Hot Tub Jr. out there for Milwaukee trying to force overtime, and no OT today. The Patriots hanging on and getting the win. And let me tell you, that was pretty crucial. Landlord able to tie up with the rookie Cartman, who's been nothing but impressive defensively, or defense-wise. But he takes a slump today, and the Milwaukee Mob pretty much continuing the slump. As they've lost 2 games in a row against Southeast Division teams, namely Tampa Bay and now Washington, the 2 teams battling for that division title out in the Southeast. So that being said, Washington protecting first place in the Southeast Division with that win. Of course, Tampa Bay going to try to keep the pressure on them when they play the Detroit Devils in just a little bit. That's going to be actually coming up here in this first set of highlights, if I'm not mistaken, the Detroit-Tampa Bay game, along with several others that are going on. 20 games happening today. San Francisco and Philadelphia, the only 2 teams with a bye. That being said, though, where does this put things in perspective record-wise? Well, Washington 13-10, 0-2 now. Milwaukee 7-13, 1-3. We look ahead to their next game day, the April 20th game day. Yes, the 420 game day. For all those who are in support of legalization, like myself. With that being said, 420 game day, what does it hold for both teams? For the Washington Patriots, doesn't get any easier. On the road against the defending world champion Los Angeles Blades. For the Milwaukee Mob, they will find themselves on the visitor side of the field against the New Orleans Gladiators. So, coming up next here on this CDL Live, we'll have our first set of highlights, but stay tuned because that second featured matchup is going to be coming up. Houston Oilers and the Idaho Cowboys. 2 teams trying to get into the midst of the playoff fight. And really, they are in the playoff fight, but needless to say, 12th versus 13th place in the West. It's going to be after the highlights. Stick around. Well, the Washington Patriots doing a good job of keeping that pace now. They know that the Gators are forced to play catch-up at this point, so a good win for Washington today. Put that pressure on the Tampa Bay Gators, who are going to be playing maybe a little bit here on the road against the Detroit Devils. I think it's in the first highlight reel here, as a matter of fact. So let's go around the league a little bit. It's our first half of the highlights, and when we get back, Houston Oilers, Idaho Cowboys. By the way, Philadelphia Demons and the San Francisco Shinobis, the only two teams with the bye today. So look out for some opportunities that would, well, just might come Portland's way. They can get the win over the LA Blades and give some teams in that Northeast Division like Wanda and New York a chance to step up. Maybe even Buffalo and Boston as well, as a matter of fact. Giving teams like that a chance to really step up, and especially since for the Northeast Division, it's divisional game day, even though I think those are mostly going to be on the second half of highlights. With that being said, let's go around that first half highlights. So we start off our 4:18 highlight reel with the Atlanta Avengers, Pittsburgh Destroyers, and WA17. Definitely start the talent show. Look at them able to stay up and then able to get the flip against Clown 5-0. It was Pittsburgh in the lead out there against 40. Another great defensive maneuver, staying in the fight, getting another flip. 10-0 Pittsburgh right here. Yes, I know, a little off, but needless to say, out there against Black Marinello, and look at this move that's coming up here. My goodness, somehow able to stay up, almost off screen, but we catch him right there in the upper right corner. Oh my goodness, able to stay in the fight and continuous fight with Black Marinello. Has a flip on him right there. 15-0, donuts served for dinner, but definitely that game a lot closer than maybe the score would say. Some really good battles amidst the whole length of it, but WA17 on point. 3-0 day for him. Destroyers getting the win over the Avengers. So we move along. Phoenix Firebirds on the road against the Indianapolis Reapers. Green Arrow out here against Gold Z 28, and way off screen. Gold Z 28 was down 5-0. Phoenix in the lead, which brought out Blue Indy. And Blue Indy coming close to an interference, but this game would be tied at 5. Now out there against Mika. Both cars taking each other down. 10-10 game, so stock 34 out there for the Firebirds. Phoenix out there playing against Phoenix, yeah. So Phoenix, the rookie, out there against stock 34. Some good collisions here, but in the end, stock 34 is going to be the one going down here. So Phoenix getting the good flip and now takes on Glitter from the Phoenix side. And Glitter would be going down, and Phoenix gets the job done. And I'm talking about the car, not the team, the Firebirds. Tough loss for them to take. They came to this game day just 3 points out of first place in the Southern Division. Of course, Roswell and New Orleans tie for that spot. But the Indianapolis Reapers trying to get into the playoff race, trying to be legitimate. 2-0 day for Phoenix. Not a bad start here in the second half of the season. So we move on to a matchup between both Shane Giesser's teams, the Miami Mafia, the Bradford Brawlers. We see a quick flip here. Monkey taking down Uncle Sam and moving on as he would go head-to-head against Gold Dust. And Gold Dust able to get the good flip on Monkey. Now out there against Neon. And good little fight here between Neon and Gold Dust, but Neon getting the flip. 10-5 Miami in the lead, and now Neon out there against Spinebuster, and Spinebuster and Neon will put on one heck of a show, as we are going to see here. Just some great collisions between these two, some close calls. Look at that move, and it doesn't stop. Yeah, Spinebuster, mama, put him in a K-pop video, and R. Kelly's driving him. He thinks he can fly. Well, he obviously can. He could land too. So he took on Neon here, and there got the flip on Neon, putting him on his side, so we were tied at 10. Spinebuster now against the rookie Aqua Chevelle from the Miami side. Game tied at 10, and a great move here by Aqua Chevelle, able to stay up and in the game as we see in slow motion. My goodness, upper left corner still staying up. The fight continuing a little bit longer between these two. Good defensive cars, but Spinebuster too much for Aqua Chevelle in the end. So the veteran Spinebuster out there against Mach 6 now. Mach 6 trying to force overtime, and boy, he is forcing the issue. He comes close here, and a great survival move by Mach 6 in slow motion. Yes, another breakdance maneuver in this game, as if we had enough, but Spinebuster says it's not enough. Gets the win. Mach 6 gets taken down, and 15-10 would be the final. 3-0 day for Spinebuster here. Brawlers getting the win over the Mafia. So we move to the west. The Chicago Wind Attack trying to keep the lead in the Central against the San Antonio Kings. And we see here both are and Sweet 16 going down to start this game. That would bring out Synchro, who was on point today out here against Motor Blade Jr., pulling off a great defensive move. Yes, roll that beautiful beam footage. Do a breakdance right there. Synchro able to stay in the game with Motor Blade Jr. and get the flip on him right there. So the score 10-5 Chicago, and now out there against RPG. Point, set, match, done. Synchro getting the job done rather quickly right there from the middleman spot. Goes 2-0, and that's all he needed to do. 15-5 the final. Wind Attack keeping the lead in the Central Division. 15-5, they defeat the San Antonio Kings. So we move on. Tampa Bay trying to retie Washington for the top spot in the East after Washington beat Milwaukee, but battle out here, making good on trying to get it done, getting the interference to kind of save himself there, and then getting a quick flip here on Black Dragon. So 5-0 out there against Clown now, and the car with the brain going to be able to salvage 10 points on today's game day, even though he goes down himself. So 10-5 the score, 47 Ronan with the chance to get the win. Padawan trying to tie things up here against the 2015 MVP. That would be 47 Ronan, and he did a bunch of stuff like that last year, thus winning MVP. Yes, roll that beautiful beam footage in slow motion. Somehow do a barrel roll, able to stay in the game, and works a tie with Padawan. So Padawan at least giving Black 3 a chance to force overtime. But 48 hours, he has been a beast for Tampa Bay so far since he's joined the team. Right before the trade deadline, gets the flip right there on Black 3. Game over. 15-10 the final score, and yes, we are still tied at the top of the Southeast Division. 15-5, Gators getting the win over the Devils. So out we go to the Western Conference. Gladiators trying to keep the lead in their division. They have the Elite out there starting things off for them against 24 Hours from the Denver side. And Denver's been hot since getting them. And these two would have just such a great battle. Some great defensive moves that we see between the two of them. And there, it came very close. It was ruled the interference. 24 Hours was down on the play, and New Orleans is going to challenge it. So we take a look at the replay here, and we don't see nothing really. Did he make contact with my knee? We can't tell. It got called interference, so this is basically at the point where I'm explaining it, but I'll explain it here for you. Non-reviewable play. New Orleans would not be charged a timeout, but there would be no flip on the play. They would continue on as if it was just interference. New Orleans not charged a timeout here because it was non-reviewable. So battle continuing between 24 Hours and Elite, and 24 Hours making use of his second chance here, able to afford himself more chances, able to stay upright there somehow. So carrying on here, 24 Hours and Elite still going at it, and this time Elite was down. So 5-0 Denver in the lead. So that time taking advantage of all those extra chances, able to stay up there against Golden Rat and keep the battle going and get the flip on him. So 10-0 Denver in the lead, 24 Hours. His play has really gotten a lot better since joining the Denver squad. Now out there against T-Gray, looking for the shutout. T-Gray, of course, good defensively, but not enough today. 24 Hours, like I said, he's been a beast since joining this Mustangs team. 15-0 the final score. He serves donuts for dinner 3-0 day for 24 Hours. So we move on with the Pacific Division battle between the Seattle Lumberjacks and the San Jose Storm, and Buzzoff has his team off to the right path to an upset. 5-0 took down Charizard, now out here against Wasp. We take a look here at Wasp making an amazing move. In slow motion, please. Do a barrel roll, able to keep himself in the game, but this time around on his side, Wasp is down. So Buzzoff, 2-0 start for the Lumberjacks. Now has to go head-to-head with Solid Snake, and Solid Snake was looking good here on this game day, and on that collision, able to get the flip in slow motion. We see him do a K-pop video. My goodness, Solid Snake able to stay in the game here. Off-screen, Darkwing is down, so it's 10-10 all of a sudden. Now out there against Dark Dragon, looking to get the lead, and he's got it. Solid Snake looking for the Captain's Day now, and both him and Mantis were down right there. Mantis trying to force overtime, not gonna happen. No soup for you, says Solid Snake from the Captain's second spot, going 4-0 today. It is a captain's day. Huge comeback for the San Jose Storm. They get the win 15-10 over the Seattle Lumberjacks. So we end off our first set of highlights with this rivalry from the Northeast, New York and New Jersey, and it was challenge out there for the Empire, getting taken down by Pink Lamborghini, and now against Enzo 1-2 easy. Pink Lamborghini off to a 2-0 start, now takes on the franchise, Black Bullet 2. Sometimes he feels like the world's on his shoulders, and yeah, that's pretty much how it is right now, but able to get the flip on Pink Lamborghini, staying in the game here now, out here against Kid Custom. These two have a pretty good battle, actually. Kid Custom getting some chances, but in the end, taken down by Black Bullet 2, who starts off his day 2-0, now goes out there against Power Pistons, the number 1 overall pick of the 2016 draft, and a great move right here we see from both cars. Black Bullet able to stay up and end the fight, but that time gets taken down by Power Pistons, 15-10 New Jersey, and what a flip right there. And yes, almost an interference. Somehow Power Pistons in slow motion we see able to stay up and keep away from the interference there just barely. Empire taken down in an upset here. The Bandits getting the win, 15-10 the final score. Some good teamwork. 2-1 day for Pink Lamborghini, and then a 2-0 day for the rookie Power Pistons. Well, folks, the time has come for our mid-feature. The 12th place Idaho Cowboys taking on the 13th place Houston Oilers. At least that's what place they were in coming into this game day. Only 2 points separating both teams, so two very evenly matched teams trying to continue to give their playoff hopes some legitimacy, let's put it that way. Should be a fun matchup to watch. Idaho Cowboys, Houston Oilers. And back down to the field we are here on our April 18th edition of CDL Live, folks. The Idaho Cowboys and the Houston Oilers are just about ready to go, and if I didn't mention it, which I'm pretty sure I did mention it, you guys know the records of what's going on. You know we got the 12th place team in the West against the 13th place team in the West. Idaho coming into the game day 11-9, 2-1, and as for the Houston Oilers, who've been on kind of a slump as of late, 9-9, 3-3, 36 points on the season for Houston right now. Idaho with 38 points on their season. And both teams in the playoff hunt right now, but both have been struggling as of late. Both of them looking for what could be a huge win. As a matter of fact, Phoenix took a loss earlier. New Orleans took a loss earlier. So definitely some doors of opportunity swaying open. And when at least especially for Houston, for Idaho, they definitely want to keep up the pace themselves in the Central Division and try to keep St. Louis and, Indy and Denver both got a win today, so trying to keep teams like that at bay. So big game for both teams. They're out on the field here today. That being said, should be a fun matchup. Let's get a look at the lineups. Houston Oilers, Idaho Cowboys.
I'll take things off. I'll take things off. I'll take things off. I'll take things off. Place listens, yeah. They came off. Anything off. Fool what you want. We stifling fools. Fool what you want. Your life for you. Let's go chillin' with the moon. We a cowboy, baby. Ride that night 'cause I sleep all day. Cowboy, baby. I can smell a dick from a mile away.
So we are ready to go. The two front runners are on the field. It is going to be White Ferrari leading the way for the Houston Oilers, and it'll be 42nd out there for the Idaho Cowboys. So there we go. We got our first collision and our first flips on both sides. First points of the game. It's a 5-5 game, as both 42nd and White Ferrari Jr. took each other out. Brings out the two middlemen right away. Nickel and Diamond out there for the Houston Oilers. And for the Idaho Cowboys, it is MX Dragster going at it here. So both cars staying up after one collision, going at it again. Good move by MX Dragster. Able to stay in the game, and interference that time. Both cars still up, back to their own sides, ready to go at it. A little bit more as it's offensive-minded right now on the field. These teams looking for that edge, and, well, now the Houston Oilers got that edge. MX Dragster down, and it's a 10-5 game. Houston in the lead, brings out governor there for Idaho. If I can find the words today, folks. A governor out there for Idaho, putting up a good fight here in the early going. Had to take a flying lesson. Good thing he learned the landing part. That being said, going at it again here with nickel and dime. Next time in interference, right there. Both cars still up to the process of that collision. Staying in the fight. So the match will continue on here. Still a 10-5 game. So now nickel and diamond looking to put this game away, going for the win. And of course, Governor trying to keep his team in it and cannot do it that time. And that was almost pretty, but it was a pretty flip. Almost saw Governor recover there, but just not able to. And the Houston Oilers going to come away with the win in the end here. 15-5 the final score. Nickel and diamond on point today, goes 2-0 from the middleman spot for the win. 15-5 the final big win for the Houston Oilers. Coming up next, we got the second stanza, if you will, of highlights here on this April 18th edition of CDL Live. And then our main event, great Northeast Division rivalry that'll be coming up soon afterwards. It should be one heck of a game. The Buffalo Warriors on the road against the Hartford homies. Gregory Fox versus Tim Giesser in our main event. Should be some fun stuff, and it's all coming up, folks. Stay tuned. Well, folks, time to go around the league for our second set of highlights. We'll see if teams like New York and Buffalo and Hartford and Gwanda and Boston, see if they can take advantage of Philadelphia's bye. Now, of course, with it being a divisional game day in the Northeast Division, going to give every team a chance to really one-up on each other, pretty much. And Pacific Division even kind of just like that. Divisional game day for them. You're going to see the highlights of the Portland Panthers and the LA Blades. Of course, Portland with the win could actually, I believe, move past. Yes, they can move past San Francisco in the standings and move up the ladder a little bit. And if they could get a win in regulation over LA, be only 3 points out of first place in the Western Conference. So some big stuff going on around the league, basically, especially in the West. Especially when you got teams like San Fran and Philly on a bye. So, but that being said, let's go around the league one more time, our second set of highlights. And when we come back, our main event, Buffalo Warriors, Hartford homies. And we start off our second set of highlights. Puerto Rico players been struggling a lot lately, and Dayton Rebels doing very well lately. Zapper out there against Black Star. It only takes a few collisions. Black Star will go down here. 5-0 Dayton in the lead. Entering in Black Lena. Goes off screen, able to stay up that time around, but this time he would be down. Too much offense from Zapper here today for Puerto Rico to contend with, but Green Blaze Jr. definitely gave it his best effort. Good shot here and able to stay up, and a couple of times able to pull off some breakdance maneuvers right there. Yet again able to stay up, but this time around off screen. Green Blaze Jr. goes down, and the donuts are served properly for dinner. Zapper getting the job done today. Dayton Rebels getting the win over the Puerto Rico Players 15-0 in a shutout. So we move to the West. New Mexico Monsters on the road against the Nashville Nighthawks, and it was No Fear out there making an early impact. Takes down Monkey Ball there. Now out there against X-Wing, takes him down too. 2-0 start for No Fear and big for the Nighthawks. They definitely need a win to keep up with Chicago. But Futurama now out there for New Mexico. Enter the defense from the Monster squad. And a good move right there though. Who's the defensive one? No Fear. Do a barrel roll, able to breakdance his way up, but this time goes down. Futurama staying up off screen, able to stay in the game. So 10-5, Monsters are down. Orange Chevelle with the opportunity to put the game away. And a good collision right here to start things off. They would go at it some more. Great defensive move by Orange Chevelle right there. The battle continuing, able to stay up, do a barrel roll yet again. And this time around, Futurama has them down. But yes, let the slow-mo highlight reel begin here from that matchup. My goodness, some good collisions. But in the end, Futurama just too much. But now he has to take on Extinguish. And Extinguish is on point here today. Look at him able to get the flip right here, and the move that he's going to make to get this flip. Unbelievable stuff we see in slow motion now. Unbelievable stuff. Has Futurama down in the process. Now out there to take on Governor 2, and Governor 2 from the 5-point gainer spot is down. So extinguish the unflippable one, stepping up for the Nashville Nighthawks today, and they keep the standings tight between them and Chicago. I believe just 2 points at the moment. 15-10 the final score. Nighthawks getting the win over the Monsters. So we move back to the east. Jacksonville Bangums, Green Bay Dragons. Testarossa would start things off first for the Bangums, and for the Dragons it was Rocket Oil, and these two would have heck of a matchup here. Rocket Oil able to stay up not just once, but able to tip himself back up there, and the battle would continue, but this time both cars would be down. So a 5-5 game brought out Zap for the Jacksonville Bangums, and he was getting some chances here. Almost had Shell down the first try. This time he does here. Upper left corner, Shell is down 10-5, Jacksonville in the lead. Now looking for the win, but both Zap and Toy Soldier were down, so Inquisitor now trying to force overtime against Black Spectite. Of course, Dragons been struggling as of late, but maybe Inquisitor going to give a little bit of hope out here against 76. He did force overtime. Now in overtime, too easy for 76. The Bangums able to hang on and get the win here, 20-15 in overtime. The Dragons really struggling as of late. So we move on. Roswell Aliens and the St. Louis Twisters and Silver Indy would start this game off nicely against F1 Racer, able to get the flip. 5-0 Twisters in the lead, but enter Dragonfly, and Dragonfly able to tie it up immediately. Now takes on Mr. Freeze, and Mr. Freeze, what a move right here. Yes, let's get into slow motion as he gets the flip on Dragonfly. 10-5 St. Louis, but made a beautiful move himself. So now Mr. Freeze looking to put the game away against Spectite from the Roswell side, and Spectite is only too happy to make him work for it. But in the end right here, Mr. Freeze set on his side. We were tied at 10, brought out the rookie of an Iridium, putting up a good fight, but in the end, it is going to be Spectite getting the flip right here. So the score, 15-10. Now out there against Rowdy. Rowdy trying to force overtime. A good fight between Rowdy and Spectite ensuing here as we see some good moves, good defensive moves by the heavyweight Rowdy. Able to make it look nice, but this time around, he does it. He gets the flip, forces overtime Spectite down, so a 2-0-1 day, or a 2-1 day for Spectite. Police Porsche in overtime though, too much for Rowdy to handle. Teamwork day, yes, 2-1 day for Spectite as he went through both Mr. Freeze and Iridium, got the defense out of the way, couldn't handle the heavyweight Rowdy, but Police Porsche, such a good 5-point gainer. I think he's a really underrated 5-point gainer, able to get the job done. 20-15 in overtime. Hey, Twisters gave the Aliens a scare, but the Aliens, good team, finding a way to win. So we keep it in the West here. Dallas Lone Stars, Minnesota Maniacs, and out here Diablo 2 having a good little match with Watts up, but in the end, Watts up a little too much for him. So 5-0 Dallas, but the game would quickly be tied up by Red Racer from the Minnesota side. So now Red Racer out there against Gray Indy. A neat little fight these two would have. It was fun to watch here. Good opportunity right there, and finally opportunity would end up paying off. Sending Red Racer all over the place. This time has a flip. So the score at 10-5. Dallas in the lead, now looking to put it away, but Black Spinebuster on point today for the Minnesota Maniacs, as we are going to see some great collisions between these two, and a great defensive move by an offensive car here. Somehow, Gray Indy, dual barrel roll, able to stay up there, continue the fight, but this time, way off screen, he would be down. So, sets up a 10-10 game with this matchup, Black Spinebuster and Reptile. Two lightweight defensive cars going at it. Always fun when we get these kind of cars going at it. We see it a lot, and it's because it is just, they can do things like this. Stay in a game, keep things tight and close, and really raise the effort level up. But Black Spinebuster getting the flip, and now against Purple 300ZX, and no overtime for you. Great game by Black Spinebuster. Goes through Gray Indy, goes through Reptile, goes through Purple 300ZX. He went to Baskin Robbins today. Like 3 different flavors of the 31 right there. Getting the job done. Goes 3-0. Minnesota Maniacs with the win, 15-10 over the Lone Stars. Back to the east, the Carolina Wildcats starting to play with some fire in their belly on the road against Cleveland Wolves, and yes, Dragon Jr., the car to watch as he goes out here against Junk in the Trunk to start this game off and has a flip on Junk in the Trunk. Now out there against Aqua Ferrari, takes him down right away, and out against Bully Goat, the defensive card from Cleveland, and again. Too easy. Walking to the bakery, skipping and jumping. I mean, he took his car to the bakery. What am I talking about? Dragon Jr. going 3-0. Serves donuts for dinner. Carolina Wildcats getting the win over the Cleveland Wolves. So we move back to the west, the Pacific Division battle between the San Diego Lightning and the Nevada Thunder, and it was Yellow Spider leading the way for Nevada here in this one, and we see him getting a quick flip on Hot Goat, the rookie, going down right away. So that would lead him to taking on Dirty Snow, and a quick flip on Dirty Snow, making it 10-0 now out there against Teardrop. Too easy for Yellow Spider today, going 3-0 from the front runner spot, serving donuts for dinner. Good win for Nevada. Of course, they are fighting to keep that about 7th seed right now in the playoff race. Moving on, Northeast Division Showdown, Gowanda Outlaws, Boston Vandals. This could be a first-round playoff matchup. And look at Blue Dragon, too, on point. He's been this way lately, getting a good opportunity there. Sonic Boom up to the task, but not that time around. 10-0 Boston in the lead. So Blue Dragon, too, trying to put the game away against Hammer, a team that really gave Boston a hard time last year. At least Hammer definitely gave Bandetta a hard time. But out here against Blue Dragon 2, he'll get taken down. Blue Dragon 2 on point today. Serves donuts for dinner. 15-0 the final score. And right now the Vandals are actually very hot. As a matter of fact, that marks their 5th straight win. And we end our highlights today with the Portland Panthers and the Los Angeles Blades. Purple Fire leading the way for Portland against Pinkendy Jr. And Pinkendy Jr. has a good flip. So now Pinkendy Jr. of the Blades would take on the heavyweight Monty from the Portland Panthers side. And this would be a good fight between these two. As you see him going at some great defensive moves by Pinkendy Jr. And right here, yes, Mama put him in a K-pop video. Dual barrel, able to stay in the game, but to no avail. Tie game at 5, and Monty was on point from here on out. As of course Portland just tied with San Francisco, and of course needed a point to move ahead of them. And if they could get a win, they are off on the right track, as we saw Far Future go down. Monty now looking to put away against Greelina. With the win, could be 3 points behind the Blades for first place in the West, if they could get it. And Greelina putting up the good fight. But it doesn't last much longer. Yes, I was waiting for it. Yes, I was waiting for it there. Highly anticipated matchup, and the Portland Panthers make it look rather easy. Well, at least Monty makes it look rather easy. A 3-0 day from the middleman spot. Portland getting the win over Los Angeles. They move into second place in the Pacific Division, and now only 3 points behind the Blades for the top spot in the Western Conference. Well, folks, the Hartford homies may be second last place, 6th place out of 7 teams in the Northeast Division. But that being said, they are 13th place in the Eastern Conference, and as of coming into this game day, only 7 points out of a playoff spot. They take on the team currently at the 7th spot in the playoff race. At least they were coming to this game day. The Buffalo Warriors were trying to hang on to that spot. So, classic Northeast Division rivalry, and the owners, they ain't too chummy when it comes to CDL either. Gregory Fox's Buffalo Warriors, Tim Giesser's Hartford homies, and they are about to go head-to-head. Let's get down to the field for our main event.
This is game time, and it's game time. Let the madness fly. Show the strength that just can't be defied.
And we're back, folks, and what a game day so far. LA taking a loss to Portland, and the Portland Panthers finding a way to beat the Blades. You saw in that highlight reel, that means we have a tie for first place between the Blades and the Demons, and basically between Philly and LA. Going to have to look at their overall scores throughout the season and whatnot, and probably go by who's been better divisionally. If that's the same, then yes, on the score. So some very interesting stuff. The two teams actually, I don't believe they actually play head-to-head this year, believe it or not, because it just kind of fell off that way. Anyhow, but that being said, down to the field here for our main event to take place, a Northeast Division Showdown. Gregory Fox's Buffalo Warriors on the road here today to take on Tim Giesser's Hartford homies. Hartford definitely underdogs coming into this game, but on the outskirts of the playoff race coming into this game day with 32 points to their credit. Hartford's record showing up on this game day: 10 wins, 11 losses, no ties, 2 overtime losses. The Buffalo Warriors, with a record of 13 wins, 8 losses, no ties, and 2 overtime losses, has 41 points. They came into this game day with 41 points, but also keep in mind that Pittsburgh right behind them, they were in the 7th seed. So Buffalo 7th place, trying to hang on to 7th place now, knowing fully well that the Destroyers moved up to 42 points today, as did Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay rather moved up to 41 points, my mistake. So Pittsburgh looking to pass Buffalo here, and as is Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay at 12, 8, 1, and 3 now, and Buffalo with the loss could be very close. I mean, they would have more wins than Tampa Bay still if they did take a loss. If Buffalo did take a loss, they'd still have more wins, but it would put them on even terms points-wise with the Tampa Bay Gators. So that being said, I'll try to learn how to talk here while you guys take a look at the lineups for both sides. Northeast Division Showdown, Warriors and Homies.
Why they call me bad company, I can't deny. Bad company, today
So here we go. We start off this game with Green Blaze and 46 Junior. They lead the way for both sides here, and 46 Junior almost got to put Green Blaze up to the task, and yet again do a barrel roll, do it a couple of times. Able to stay up and alive, and this time both Green Blaze and 46 Junior are down, and the Homies and Warriors, these Northeast Division rivals, tied at 5. They'll bring out Tyrell for Buffalo, and for Hartford, that will be Redemption out there for them. And Tyrell getting underneath Redemption, but Redemption staying up, and you see some grease building up on that front end of Tyrell, as a matter of fact. So the field has been greased up. It's how low he is. He's scraping grease. But needless to say, both cars still up, going at it again. And this time, both cars are down cleanly. So Tyrell and Sheriff back on the field. Tyrell and Redemption both out of the game. We are tied at 10. No teams had a lead yet. What comes out for the Buffalo Warriors and for the Hartford Homies? It is Indy 5 out there. And Indy 5 able to stay up. I don't know if he was on screen there still, but what a move he just pulled off. As he continues his fight with what here? And almost interference. I'm not going to call any there. Both cars still up and back on their own sides. And this time, what a move by Indy 5 yet again. As these rivals go at it, and they are making it into a show here. No doubt, what a move by what right there. Able to stay alive, and yet again, Indy 5 answering the call just as much, and even there, yet again, put him in a K-pop video, somehow able to break dance their way up, and this time, Indy 5 with a good flip on what? So the score is now 15-10. The Hartford Homies in the lead. Indy 5 looking to put the game away. Paradox, one of the best 5-point gainers in the league, looking to force overtime, and here we go. It's kind of all around talent against defensive talent that Paradox brings. No interference there. They will switch sides. And this time, Paradox is indeed down, and the Hartford Homies finding a way to get the win here at home against the Buffalo Warriors and putting on yet another instant classic here in our main event. These two teams go at it. Always seems to be very fun to watch, and indeed it was. 15-10 the final score. The Hartford Homies getting the win over the Buffalo Warriors. Fantastic battle right there. And for Hartford, they go up to 35 points and now have a record of 11-0-2. Puts them up to 35 points on the season, and trying to get themselves further ahead in the playoff race. They will be tied with Cleveland for 12th place now, as a matter of fact. If I'm reading this right, yes I am. As for the Buffalo Warriors, a tough loss that keeps them at 41 points, and they will be tied with Tampa Bay. for the 8th and final playoff seed. Pittsburgh will move ahead of them for the 7th seed in the East. So Buffalo having struggles as of late, but needless to say, moving on here. Hartford's next game on the April 20th game day on the road against the St. Louis Twisters. For Buffalo, they'll be on the road against the Indianapolis Reapers. And because I didn't mention it earlier, Idaho and Houston, who they play next. Houston's next game, home against the Dayton Rebels. And for Idaho, they will have a home game against the Gowanda Outlaws, all on that 420 game day. So that being said, what is going to be on the next edition of CDL Live, the April 20th edition of CDL Live? The game day that will put us 2/3 of the way exactly through the season, well, through the regular season. Leading it off, the Boston Vandals will be on the road trying to hang on to that 4th place spot now in the Eastern Conference against the Minnesota Maniacs. Then, in our mid-feature, the New York Empire on the road in an original 6 battle cross-conference matchup. New York Empire, Chicago Wind Attack. 2 of the CDL's original 6 teams going to be in our mid-feature on that 420 game day. And then our main event, the Green Bay Dragons, who are starting to struggle now after they had a good streak going there. They had like a pretty good win streak going, but they've been struggling as of late, but they're going to have to bring their A game on the road against the new leaders of the Southern Division, the Roswell Aliens. Dragons, Aliens, the main event of our April 20th edition of CDL Live. So that being said, the April 18th edition is done. I'm James Hulse, owner and creator of the Car Demolition League. Thanking you for watching. Definitely appreciate all the support. Until next time, folks, take care of yourselves, be yourselves, and peace.
I love LA. Big Sad, California, yes, still applies to me. Everybody got something to say.